It's basically, it's a story, I don't remember all of the details, but the point of the story is that you are supposed to forgive somebody 70 times 7 times. You're supposed to keep giving people second chances. Alright, and math majors out there, what is 70 times 7?
400.
490. So, if you read the parable literally, you should forgive somebody 490 times. So what do you do on the 491st?
Stop.
Are you supposed to stop forgiving them at 491?
That's a sin.
Well, that's a lot of things to forgive.
Okay. So if you read the story literally, when you get to 491, you should stop forgiving people. Now, do you think that's really what they meant in the Bible, or was this an example of an exaggeration?
Exaggeration.
I mean, it's going to depend on like how you read the Bible, but I would say
It is the Bible.
my argument would be that saying that you're supposed to do something 70 times 7 times and getting a number like 490 means that at 491, their chances aren't up. You're supposed to just keep doing it forever. The point is to give an exaggeration that you're just supposed to forgive and forgive and forgive, because that's what a good Christian does. But Mr. James Branderham isn't really a proponent of reading into the spirit of the Bible. He just thinks that if someone does something 490 times, you can forgive them, but once they get to 491, they're done. You're going to hell, no salvation, you're done.
That's kind of stupid.
Right. This is going to come into play with Joseph, who is a minor character, but he comes to represent this very sort of literal reading of things, and he likes to preach a lot about stuff that he doesn't really understand.
Wait, I thought he couldn't.
Is he the one that starts in
He can talk,
dialect?
he just talks in a dialect, which makes it very hard to understand.
Yeah, I tried doing the British accent. It felt more Scottish to me.
Okay, well, whatever works. Help you. They're far enough north in England that they're close to Scotland that would make sense. Okay, so he has this strange dream about hearing this man preach 490 sermons about 490 sins, which would take forever, but that's beside the point, it's a dream. And so then, after he's having this bizarre dream about this man and his preaching, what happens in the middle of the night?
At the window.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Catherine's at the window, and what does she do to him?
Grabs his hand.
She grabs his hand. All right, and his reaction is
Go away.
Before he screams, what does he do or try to do?
Shake it.
Shake it off.
Yeah, he tries to get her to let go. Tries to shake it off. That's not working. So what does he do?
He pulls her.
He convinces her that he'll let her in if she lets go.
Okay, he does that, but before that, what does he do to her? It's really kind of creepy. Let's
Bites
see.
her hand off.
Yeah, he doesn't bite her hand off. This is on page 18. He immediately assumes that it's Catherine Linton, which is a little bit odd since he has read Catherine Earnshaw's journal, but he assumes that this is Catherine Linton, which makes her older than Catherine Earnshaw, because Catherine Earnshaw is the child and Catherine Linton is the married name. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this is in the paragraph as it spoke, it being the ghost of Catherine Linton. As it spoke, I discerned obscurely a child's face looking through the window. Terror made me cruel, and finding it useless to attempt shaking the creature off, I pulled its wrist onto the broken pane and rubbed it to and fro till the blood ran down and soaked the bedclothes. And it wailed, "Let me in," and maintained its tenacious grip, almost maddening me with fear.
That's a good idea. He was thinking on his feet there.
He cut her wrist.
He slides her wrist back and forth across the broken glass to make her start bleeding. Now, since she's a ghost, does that do anything effective?
No.
No, it's just really gross.
Did he know it was a ghost?
I would assume so. There's no physical way that a woman could be outside the window that he knows to be dead. I mean, he knows she's dead, so therefore, yes, we're going to go with he knows it's a ghost.
He's really smart.
Yeah, so eventually he says to it, "Well, if you let me go, I'll let you in." She, I guess, is not a very smart ghost and is like, "Oh, okay." Trust the guy, and so he's like, "Good," you let go, and slams the door. Doesn't let her in. But before, this is to help you with your timeline, before she lets go, she says to him, "It's 20 years," mourns the voice. 20 years. I've been a waif for 20 years. What's a waif?
Dead.
A ghost. Yes, a waif. Actually, a waif is someone that's very, very thin. Kate Moss is often described as being like a waif, but it means someone who's so thin they're like a ghost.
Wait, is it A space WAFF or is it one word or two words?
Oh, this is fun.
What?
This is fun. It's a pun.
I'm a ghost.
So she says, "I've been a waif for 20 years."
Huh, I get it.
Yeah. But if you say it like a normal person would say that sentence, "I've been a waif for 20 years." Right. Okay. So what does that tell us about when she died?
20 years.
20 years ago. And right now we are still in 1801. So therefore she died in what year?
1781.
1781. Okay, so you can put that under timeline. Catherine Earnshaw Linton dies in 1781. All right, and she has been away for 20 years. Now, he eventually starts to flip out and screams in the middle of the night, "Oh my God, there's someone trying to kill me in my sleep." And so this wakes Heathcliff up, and Heathcliff comes running into the room going, "What happened?" So there's two reasons why Heathcliff is really upset. What's the first reason why Heathcliff is upset?
He got woken up.
He got woken up in the middle of the night, and that makes him cranky. What's the second reason why he's upset?
He's a gypsy.
No.
He just realized.
Where has Mr. Lockwood been sleeping?
In a bed.
In Catherine's bed. Hello, he's not okay with that. No one asked him if he could stay there. So he's cranky that he's sleeping in Catherine's bed. And actually he's cranky about something else too. What is he cranky about? That's really sort of bizarre.
There's no brownies.
He wants to see.
Correct. No brownies.
Yeah. He gets really creeped out. When Mr. Lockwood tells him the reason he screamed was because there was a ghost of a woman named Catherine Linton at the window, Heathcliff is like, "You need to get out right now." And he stays in the room, and what does he do?
He opens the latch.
Right, this is on the bottom of page 20. He opens the window, and he bursts into an uncontrollable passion of tears. And he starts screaming out the window, come in, he sobbed. "Kathy, do come. Oh, do once more. Oh, my heart's darling. Hear me this time. Oh, Catherine, at last." The spectre showed a spectre's ordinary caprice. It gave no sign of being, but the snow and wind whirled wildly through, even reaching my station and blowing out the light. There was such anguish in the gush of grief that accompanied this raving that my compassion made me overlook its folly, and I drew off, half angry to have listened at all, and vexed at having related to my ridiculous nightmare, since it produced that agony, though why was beyond my comprehension. So what kind of reaction does Heathcliff have at Lockwood saying he's seen the ghost of Catherine Linton?
He starts sobbing because he misses.
Right. He starts sobbing and screaming out the window for the ghost to come back. Is that the type of reaction you would expect from someone when someone at your house says, "I think I saw a ghost in the guest room"?
No.
No. What makes this particularly unusual?
So he must have left.
Yeah, he must have seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows the ghost is there.
Okay, maybe he knows the ghost is there.
Maybe he misses her that much.
He misses her. They must have had then a very good relationship. He calls her "my heart's darling." That seems a little more than friendship. You didn't call your friends your heart's darling, usually.
You're my heart's darling.
And he says, "Come in again. Hear me this time." What does that tell us about the ghost?
It's been
She's been here before. Sorry, actually, it's another earthquake.
Yeah, another earthquake.
And